Okay, so we'll start with the session covering the agenda that the topics that we're going to cover today. First will be overview of the supply chain. Then we'll start with the advanced planning and optimization modules because PPDS is a part of SAP Advanced Planning and Optimization, which is known as SAP APO. Then what are the advantages of HANA? Then core interface, master data integration, different product heuristic that we have in PPDS, detailed scheduling of PPDS, which is nothing but the main USP of PPDS. Why all the clients go ahead and implement PPDS is because of detailed scheduling. Then different alert monitor, which is available, like you can generate the different alerts in the system. And what are the limitations of S4HANA in terms of PPDS? So we are going to cover overview of all these topics. So if you have any questions, we can definitely take it as we finish each topic. This will not be too much in detail. So definitely there might be some questions that you will be able to understand after seeing the system. Starting with the first topic, overview of a supply chain. So this is a very simple example of a supply chain, which includes your manufacturers, distributors, and supplier. So as a part of supply chain, we have a manufacturing location, which is nothing but the plant, which produces the finished product. These finished products are produced using your raw materials, semi-finished product. Raw materials are the one which we procure from a supplier, and semi-finished products are again produced in the manufacturing plant, for which we again require a raw material which is procured from the supplier. Once the products are produced, they have been distributed to different distribution centers, which is mainly termed as DCs. These distribution centers then supply these products to a customer. So there can be a direct customer demand which comes from the distribution center, which is fulfilled after the production of those products. Then customers buy the product. They can be directly using it for their own consumption, or maybe it is going to some other consumer. So this is fairly an example of a supply chain where the flow of goods start from your supplier, manufacturer, DCs to customer. However, the information is a bidirectional. So in a supply chain, you have a lot of feedback, input, and different reports that gets generated based on each activity in the supply chain. So that information flow happens in a bidirectional. So those who are working in production planning or material management, they will probably be aware about this supply chain. As a part of PPDS, and where it comes in picture is basically at the manufacturing location, because production planning and detailed scheduling is basically to produce as per your demand, and to use your existing resources in terms of your products, in terms of your machineries, and produce it at the required time when the customer needs it. So that is the main aim of a PPDS. So PPDS is mainly covering the part of manufacturing locations. Overview of APO modules. So there are different APO modules which a company can select based on the requirements, starting with the demand planning. So demand planning is basically for generating the forecast. There are different algorithms available out of box by SAP, which are given, which takes the input as your history, or the past sales orders and the actual quantity that we can say, and using that and obviously your other parameters in terms of your locations, products, customer base, it creates the forecast. Now this forecast is nothing but the demand. So for a particular product, you have, let's say, example of the FMCG product, beverage. So for that you have a demand in particular location for particular customer. So that demand is generated using the demand planning algorithms. Now this demand is then given to the supply network planning, which is the second module of APO. Supply network planning is basically used for mid to long term planning, 12 months to 24 months in the range. It is basically used for the rough cut planning, where you have to ensure that whatever is demand falling in next 1 year or 2 years, you have enough resources or the machine to produce that demand. And if you want to procure something or if you want to produce the finished semi-finished products for that, by when you should start. So this will be a rough number. Distribution and the transport also falls in the supply network planning to some extent, where the distribution happens to a different DCs or the distribution centers. There are different rules or criteria for the distribution, and there are different tools available within supply network planning. So we have heuristic, supply network heuristic, which is basically infinite planning, because supply network planning does not consider the availability of your existing resources. However, it will plan considering all your resources are always available. Then you have a deployment. Deployment is again a tool within supply network planning, using which you can deploy the existing stock or your production to your distribution centers using some out-of-box functionalities given by SAP. Then you have transport planning. So there are two models basically for the transportation planning, but within SNP we have transport load builder, which ensures that the truck capacity and the result of a deployment is been taken care correctly, and how you're managing your sources or the logistics. So that is taken to some extent in supply network planning. Moving on to next module, which is production planning and detailed scheduling. So like I said, SNP is mainly for the mid to long term planning, versus production planning and detailed scheduling is your short term planning, short to mid term planning. So let's say from 3 to 6 months planning is basically done by PPDS. It is done at the manufacturing locations. It is a finite planning where we have to consider availability of the existing resources. We have to schedule the orders as per the resources, and the production plan is created in such a way that if you want to produce a finished product on a particular day, then by when you have to start procuring the raw material for that production, for that particular production lot or the finished products. So planning is done to this detailed only in PPDS. There are some companies which opt for all three, demand planning, supply network planning, and PPDS, because mainly the forecast is generated using the demand planning. Then supply network planning is for their long term and the mid term plan, and then PPDS. PPDs can definitely create your plan independently, and also some of the companies also use the SNP plan as a reference to the PPDS plan. So all your the rough cut planning, which are the receipts generated by SNP, are taken into consideration in PPDS, and only scheduling takes place. Or a company can directly go for PPDS planning. Then global availability. So this is mainly for your sales order. So if you want to ensure that a particular sales order is being fulfilled across your network, or across your supply chain, then we have to use the global availability check, during which if a particular product is not available at the given warehouse or the distribution center, then it can procure that product, or it can replenish that product from some other distribution center, and the sales order can be fulfilled. Then transportation planning and vehicle scheduling. So like I mentioned, in SNP you have a transport load builder, which creates your transport plan. However, in transportation planning, it is to further in detail, where you do the logistic planning. You have to arrange for your vehicle scheduling. So if considering your lead time between the locations, you have to schedule the vehicle. So these are different modules which are available in APO. Now, considering HANA, out of all this, only production planning. I am on the second screen actually, overview of SAP APO models. Is the screen visible here?
No, we cannot see. We're able to see on the first screen.
We are able to see only the first slide, overview of S4 HANA.
Okay, let me stop and share again.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
able to see? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so these are the different modules that I just covered. And before moving on to the next overview, so basically as a part of HANA, we have only PPDS, which is integrated in S4 HANA, whereas all the different modules are not available in HANA. So given a SAP path in next 5 to 7 years, SAP is not going to support SAP APO modules, and we will have mainly all the other functionalities like demand planning, SNP, and availability check, etc., to be taken care by IBP, that is integrated business planning. And the PPDS has been separated and it is into HANA. Now, why PPDS is separated is because it is clubbed with HANA planning actually. So you have a MRP planning, which is mainly done in the production planning, the infinite planning. So you have a result of your infinite planning, and then PPDS can be used for scheduling. So that is why these two modules are clubbed together, and other modules will be mainly integrated in IBP. Any doubts so far? Okay. So advantages of HANA. Inclusion of PPDS in HANA, that's a main advantage. Like I mentioned, PPDS is used for the constraint-based planning. So your constraint can be in terms of your machinery, in terms of your labor, or in terms of your product. So all those constraints are taken care in PPDS. PPDS has a different, out-of-box heuristic which are provided by SAP. So there are almost 20-25 heuristics which are given by SAP. Different heuristic has a different functionality, and based on your requirements or client, we can use one heuristic, or we can use more than one heuristic as well in the planning. So example is your standard lot size, where the normal MRP planning, it's the same like a standard lot size planning, infinite planning, and considering your lot size and other constraints from material master. Then shelf life planning. PPD supports the shelf life planning. So in case of the industries like pharmaceutical, where we have a shelf life, or FMCG, where a particular product cannot be stocked more than 1 year, let's say. So in that case, it is very much important to consider the shelf life of those products, and in no way we can peg a particular receipt or particular order which is expired to a sales order or the customer demand. So there's out-of-box functionality or the heuristic shelf life planning which PPDS offers. Then industry-specific features. So there is characteristic-based planning. So in case of your paint industry or in case of automobile industry, we can use the characteristic-based planning, which is again used in terms of creating your receipts as per the characteristics which are maintained. Then simulation versions. So we probably in some of the business cases we might need another business plan. So let's say if I'm having the forecast, a particular forecast, and the receipts are created, but I want to see if I add more non-working time. So if I ensure that my Saturday Sundays are working, or if I want to add another shift to existing shift. So currently my plant is working only in 2 shifts, but now I want to add 3rd shift because there is a seasonal demand which is more. So in all these cases, how my plan should change, or how scheduling will change, or how many machines I have to keep operating. So this will require your different business plan. We cannot have all these changes to be done in the production system. So there are different simulations are created where you can use your existing master data, and you can use your existing transaction data like demand, existing receipts, purchase orders, existing supply network. You can make all these changes in the simulation, and you can run the plan. And based on the output, if you think that after making XYZ changes, I'm getting a desired production plan, then you can copy those changes back into your production system. So this is mainly if you want to see some alternative, you want to see what if analysis. So in all those cases, you can use your simulation. So you can copy data within versions. You can again delete data across versions. So that functionality is also offered in PPDS. Simplicity and seamless integration, that is advantage of HANA, because in APO, if like PPDS was also part of the APO, but to integrate it with SAP ERP, we have to use a different integration tools, and there was an integration model. So the data integration basically was very, it was very tedious to maintain data, because you have a selection criteria every time. So something is changed, you have to ensure that all your integration models are updated accordingly. But with S4 HANA and PPDS, there's a single system, and PPDS is part of S4 HANA. Then a simplified master data and the transaction data integration. So no complex integration model needs to be maintained, or no maintenance. It's just a one-time setting, and it's a plug and play. You can make changes anytime you want. Then it's a fast, I mean, we all know that HANA is the fastest database. So that is actually used in the PPDS in a way, because there is only one planning which is done in HANA now for PPDS as well as ECC. So earlier, I'm giving reference in terms of ERP and APO, because there was two different algorithms, or planning techniques. So one was specific only to ECC, as we call as a MRP, and the other was specific to PPDS or APO. It can either be your SNP or PPDS. However, in HANA, we can have only one MRP, that is called live MRP. So only that can be used, which will internally differentiate the products which will be planned on MRP in HANA, and the products which can be planned on PPDS. However, for users or for the planners, it's a single planning tool, which is planning all the products in one go. Then live cache. Live cache is a part of a database basically, which is only limited to the PPDS. So all your transaction data is stored in the live cache. This is kind of a basis setting basically. So when you implement HANA, or when you implement the PPDS module, we have to implement live cache as well. Without live cache, PPDS will not work. There will not be any structure to hold the data in PPDS. Then MRP type. From those who are from PP background, they would know that for APO, earlier SAP was offering the MRP type as X0, that is products which are planned using the external system. So all the products which have to be planned using APO has to be marked X0. So if you miss product which is critical product, and if you miss this setting, then it will not be considered in PPDS planning or the APO planning. However, now there is no no mandatory condition to mark X0 for the MRP type, because planning in PPDS is not restricted based on the MRP type. Now there are different settings which are given by SAP, using which you can control whether the product can be planned in PPDS or not. Even though HANA and PPDS are part of the same database, and we don't have to maintain the integration models. However, SIF configurations, which is nothing but we call as a core interface, which is mainly used for integration of master data and transaction data. These are one-time settings which we have to maintain, which include your logical system, then RFC connection, then what you have to do with your error queues when the data processes, APO release. So all these settings are basically maintained by the basis team. It's the same system. So when you maintain the logical system, it's the same HANA system, versus earlier we had to maintain the APO system here, but now we maintain only same HANA system actually. RFC connection, there is the same RFC connection which has to point to itself. So even that is required. So these are the prerequisite, and there is one basic checkbox that we have to maintain to activate the advanced planning and scheduling. If you don't select or you don't maintain this setting, then even if other settings are there, you will not be able to use PPDS. Then order types for transfer. These are nothing but different transaction data that you can transfer between HANA and PPDS. These are real-time transfer. And it's a continuous transfer. There will not be any specific job or integration model needs to be set up for this. So as soon as a sales order created in HANA, it will be integrated in PPDS in the real time. So we can control this. So if as per the business requirement, you don't have to transfer the scheduling agreements or campaigns, etc., because they are not adding any value in the PPDS. So you can deselect them. If you want to use the scheduling agreement for your vendor planning and all, you can you can select it, so that will be integrated. Apart from that, mainly stock, sales order, plan orders, production orders, that are always required to be integrated in PPDS. So they are by default, they will be marked in this section. So this is the first step when we when we have to start using the system. We have to ensure that all the settings are maintained. Though these are the settings are part of a basis setting, however, SAP has provided notes for the for implementation of all these things, and you can ensure that this is as per the note the settings are aligned. Master data integration, starting with model and version. So model and version is very much specific only to APO or PPDS, where all your transaction data which comes from HANA is maintained in version, versus all your master data which gets integrated, like product, resources, etc., that gets stored in your model. So all the master data will be part of the model. There will be single master data. You cannot replicate the master data within PPDS. However, versions can be different. So by default, this the active version or the active model is named as 000, and planners can create the different versions, like I mentioned for the business plan. So you can have version 001, 002 with same transaction data. You can do the copy of these versions. There are standard programs given by SAP. You can copy based on the filters for a specific plant or specific product location combination. However, 001 you can do all the simulations, and 000 is your production transaction data. For other simulation versions, it will refer the same master data which is available in the active model 000. Then locations. So earlier we used to have an integration model for the locations, but now it is created using the standard program for creation of locations, where locations are copied from HANA, and we just have to maintain the plant name, and the same plant is replicated in PPDS with respect to your location type. So in HANA, we can specify whether the particular location is distribution center or a plant or a vendor or customer. But there are different node type settings that we have to maintain, where each location has to be assigned the specific location type, because in APO everything comes as a location. So unless you specify the location type, we will not be able to create the supply chain as required in PPDS. So if the particular plant we are integrating, then we have to maintain the location type as a plant, versus if any location is coming as a distribution center, we have to select it as a distribution center. Customers are not usually integrated in PPDS because they are really not a part of your production planning and scheduling. Vendors are also not integrated. Only in case of your subcontracting vendor, earlier it was integrated, but now the process has changed, so even vendors are not part of PPDS anymore. So it is mainly your plant and the distribution centers which are integrated. These are the same sequence in which you have to integrate the master data, because you cannot have products in PPDS without having location in PPDS. So the first step is to create your model and version. Once you have a model is a structure to hold your master data, so you can start integrating the master data starting from locations. Coming to product, so product, you can refer it as a material master or a product master. It's the same thing. So earlier we used to create the products in PPDS also, and integrate using integration model. But now in HANA, there's an additional tab. So those who have worked on HANA, they probably have seen this if PPDS was there, because this particular tab will not be activated unless you select the advanced planning checkbox as I shown on the SIF interface screen. Without that, this will not be available. So all these parameters are specific to the PPDS. So advanced planning is nothing but the PPDS part of HANA. So you can see there's a checkbox for advanced planning. So this is the first criteria. If you want to integrate any product into PPDS, this has to be checked. Without this, the product will not be available. Now the plant has to be there. So this particular product will be created at the location if the checkbox is selected. Then you have to use the different fields which are maintained here, like your proposed strategy. So like you have make to stock, or planning with final assembly. So all those settings are available in PPDS as well that we have to select. It will not the settings that we maintain on the HANA screen or the MRP screen, because PPDS, the strategies are little different compared to MRP. So we have to specify the PPDS strategies. Then product heuristic, as you see here. So SAP PP002, it's a standard lot heuristic which is similar to MRP planning of HANA. In case of shelf life, it will be a different heuristic. So why heuristic is important is because it is a way to identify for the system that this product will be planned using this algorithm, and all the receipts will be created as per the settings which are maintained on this algorithm. Then lot size unit, you can have a planning calendar, etc. So basically these are the settings which is only required for the PPDS planning. If you miss any important settings, like whatever highlighted settings are there or the mandatory that I have maintained here on this screen, the others are it's optional. So there will be other availability of those settings we don't have to maintain here. But if you maintain on the product master, the priority will always be given to the screen. Any questions so far?
Yeah, I'm having one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we are having 5 materials, and how can we specify that these materials are relevant to PPDS and these the remaining materials are relevant to MRP based on the product heuristic what we maintained, or apart from that there is any separation?
Yeah. So for all your critical products, so when you mention 5 products, there will be one semi-finished product, one finished product, and let's say other raw materials.
No,
So
I'm saying that I'm having only 5 finished materials.
okay, so in that case, if you want to specify few for HANA and few for PPDS, it will be based on the advanced planning checkbox, as you can see here.
Okay, if we maintain advanced planning, then only the materials are relevant for PPDS. If we don't
Yes,
maintain
that's
it, we
correct.
have to go standard MRP.
Yes, that's correct. So if it is selected as an advanced planning, then HANA will skip those products, and that will products will not be planned using MRP and will be only planned based on the product heuristic that we maintain here. Now, if we don't maintain any product heuristic, the products will not be planned at all.
Okay, and another thing you are saying that heuristic, we are having the lot size heuristic, right? If you are maintaining the lot size heuristic in the advanced planning, and if we maintain in the MRP one view as the exact lot size or fixed lot size, system will consider only the data maintained in the advanced planning and it will not consider the MRP one data. Is it true, or?
There are some standard settings that we say as a global settings that will usually be considered from the MRP screen only. You don't have to repeat it here again, except the strategy, like I mentioned. So that strategy, because it is different in PPDS and HANA, we have to specify it here. Otherwise, lot size and all will be referred from the MRP screen only.
Okay, then if we talk about the strategy, let's suppose in make to stock we are having the planning with final assembly. If we maintain as a make to order in MRP 3 view, and in the heuristic if we maintain as a make to stock with planning strategy 40, how system will consider, and the material is relevant to advanced planning.
Yeah, so whatever strategies you have maintained on the advanced planning screen, that will be considered. So if it is a
Okay.
make to, but you maintain your make to stock for final assembly, then it will be considered as a make to stock product.
Okay. You mean to say that the data what we maintain in the advanced planning only will be considered for PPDS, and the data what we maintain in MRP used to be considered for MRP.
Yes.
Okay. Then the same case applies to the lot size also.
Okay, so lot size is basically it's a one-time maintenance. You have to consider it from the HANA screen, like I mentioned. The lot size unit that you're seeing here is optional. You don't have to maintain anything here because lot size, whatever is, it's a fixed lot or lot for lot or minimum maximum lot constraint you have to maintain. That will be taken from MRP screen only.
Okay, lot size will be taken from MRP screen, and the unit only will be considered from the. Okay, only for lot size will be considered from MRP view.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Then there is another setting here, PP planning procedure. So mainly this is to, okay, so the planning, there are different planning procedures which are part of PPDS, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the standard out-of-box planning procedures given by SAP. Each one of them have a different functionality. So let's say we talk about the planning procedure. Can you go on mute, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's say example of planning procedure 1 and 2, which is mainly maintained for the components. It can be your semi-finished product or some raw materials which are integrated in PPDS. So in that case, what 1 and 2 says, for example, is when you're creating the receipt for the finished product, you should check whether the subsequent components are available. So let's say I have an order of 500 to be created on finished product, and for that, as per my BOM, I need 1,000 of my components. So if that 1,000 components are available for that product location, then only you can go ahead and create the order of 500 at the finished product. If the components are not available, then you cannot create the receipt at the finished product. So the plan order will not be created. Planning procedure 4 is like you have to just maintain the planning file entry. So it's the same planning file entry that we have in HANA as well. So any changes to your demand and supply will be noted down, and that will be referred when you are running the heuristic. So when the job runs to create the receipts, it will refer the planning file entry, it will do the net demand calculation, and it will create the receipts. So all these settings, planning procedure and product heuristic and strategy, they mainly decide how the receipt should be created at that particular product location. We'll go through all the settings when we actually see the screen and integrate the product. So we'll go through all the screens, all these fields and details.
Okay, and one more question. Normally, when you are running MRP, we'll be having MRP for single item, single level, or single item, multi-level. Do the heuristic have the same option, or?
Yeah, we'll cover it. It has that option.
Okay.
Hi, Kashmira. Just one small question from me. Uh, in ECC, we have all these options like we are doing lot sizing procedure and we are doing MRP. And the only point we are stuck in ECC that we have a unconstrained planning, unconstrained capacity planning when it comes from MRP, and we have to manually reschedule the orders. So I just wanted to understand. Like advanced planning, you have talked about heuristic and all that stuff. So it's also influenced our lot size also. So if suppose I just want the functionality of automatic scheduling from PPDS, so I still have to do the advanced planning, or is it something different component I have to use? Hope my question is clear. So suppose just to reframe, I don't want to use a heuristic from PPDS. I just want that scheduling to be should be done from by PPDS of my production orders automatically. Whenever there are multiple resources available, it should schedule my orders automatically. So do I have to activate this advanced planning in every Metal Master or somewhere in Work Center? just that.
Yeah, so okay, so to get the product in PPDS, we have to activate the advanced planning. So whenever you activate the advanced planning, all the demand and the transaction data can flow across the HANA and PPDS. So without that checkbox, you cannot have any data in PPDS. If you don't maintain the product heuristic, PPDS will not plan. That's one thing. But when you mark that product as an advanced planning, even HANA will not plan it. So we have to have the critical products separated, critical finished product or semi-finished product separated from the other products, which needs to be planned in PPDS. So you cannot have directly scheduling happening in PPDS without running the heuristic.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, moving on to the next master data, that is resource. So we can have a single activity and multi-activity resource created in HANA. Then again, similar to the product master, we have, or the material master, we have the advanced planning checkbox here at the bottom side. So unless you mark this checkbox, the resource will not be available in PPDS. As soon as you select it, the resource will be available there with all the data which is maintained on HANA. So in terms of your capacity, whatever shift or the intervals have been maintained, that part, then that can be directly created. Then you can mark the particular product as a finite scheduling and the bottleneck relevant. So all the resources which PPDS uses are always finite scheduling, because if you don't mark it, then the resource will be considered as an infinite resource and the scheduling will be done on that infinitely. So we have to mark every PPDS relevant resource as a finite resource. So mainly the critical resources which are used in your production, finished product planning and the semi-finished are integrated in PPDS. It is optional to mark the bottleneck resources, because it is basically in some company they want to do scheduling only on the bottleneck resources. So in that case, even if I have 10 finite resources in PPDS but bottleneck are only 2, so based on these 2 criteria I can schedule. However, some companies want to schedule all the finite resources irrespective of whether there's a bottleneck or not. So marking a resource as a bottleneck, it's optional. Whatever shift details we maintain here, we can integrate it in PPDS. We can also create the shift details additionally in PPDS. So if you don't want to refer HANA, you can create the shift in the same way how we create in HANA. It can be created in PPDS. For any particular resource, we can maintain downtime directly in PPDS, which we cannot maintain in HANA. So if a resource is not available for 2 days or 3 days, we can mark that downtime in PPDS directly on the resource. So that is referred when you're scheduling the order on that resource. In using few notes provided by SAP, you can also integrate the maintenance order directly in PPDS. So in few companies where they have the plant maintenance model, also module also in use, where the maintenance orders are directly created in that module. So using the integration with PPDS, all those maintenance orders against that resource can directly be integrated in PPDS, which creates the downtime directly. So it avoids planner to actually log into PPDS and manually create the downtime. With the integration from plant maintenance, you can have this data directly updated. We cannot directly create the resource in PPDS now. So for any resource, production resource or handling resource, it has to be created in HANA. For PPDS, every plant location should have a handling resource, because that is used in your receipts. So whenever you do GR activity, which is a part of PPDS activity, that is carried out on your handling resource. So it is mandatory to have a handling resource mapped on location in PPDS. And that resource has to be created as an infinite resource, and it has to be created in HANA itself. Production data structure, it is nothing but integration of your production versions. So production version is nothing but your BOM and the BOM and recipe or the routings which we create in HANA, that gets integrated in PPDS using the standard program. This is again a real-time integration. You don't have to run this program again and again. You can have your lot sizes and the validities on the production version. In case if you have a multiple production versions, then we can maintain the priority in HANA. This priority gets integrated along with the PDS in PPDS, and based on the priorities, your source is selected while creating the production receipts. Then setup group and the setup matrix. So when you have a product mix, so there are different type of products that are produced on the same resource combination or the same production line. In that case, we can use the setup group and the setup matrix. Setup group is nothing but when you are changing the product mix from A to B, let's say, then how much is it? How much is my change over time? So that can be mapped on the setup group. These setup groups are assigned to your master recipe on the setup operation. Different groups are combined in a setup matrix. So let's say there are 5 products which are produced on resource A. So 5 products will have a 5 setup group with change over time maintained. So these 5 groups combine a single matrix which is mapped on the PPDS resource. This can be directly updated in PPDS. This will not be integrated from HANA. So using this matrix, whenever a PPDS is doing scheduling, it will refer this matrix and your plan orders will be created or scheduled in such a way that the changeover time is always a minimum. So it will also take care of your availability date of your receipts and when there is the demand, and how much changeover time can be minimized. So it will be a trade-off of these two combinations, and then your receipts will be created. If it is not maintained, I mean, in some cases where mainly the changeover time does not vary between the products, so it's like only 60 minutes, it will be 60 minutes or 62 minutes, etc. So in that case, usually it is not maintained because it will not make much difference moving from one product to another product if the setup time is same. Then planning process in PPDS. So your orders are created against your demand, and these orders are basically created using the planning heuristics, which are infinite orders, and these orders are scheduled using the scheduling heuristics, which is a different set of heuristics. After this, you can release your plan to production or to HANA because the integration is both way. Whatever scheduling happens in PPDS gets integrated in HANA back, which is the execution system. This can be reviewed using the alert monitoring, and necessary action can be taken. In PPDS, like I mentioned, we have only in HANA we have only one MRP, that is called MRP Live. So if you see here, there's a particular product where the finished product and the semi-finished product is planned using PPDS. It's a highlight in this way, whereas the other products, the semi-finished product is planned in ERP. And this is again a different product which is completely planned in ERP. So earlier we used to have a different planning algorithm for PPDS products and the ERP products. However, using MRP Live, we just have to maintain the plant, which is again optional. So all these settings are optional. If you don't maintain here, it will run across your supply chain. And if you want to run it only for the plant location, you can mention the plants here. We can give material in the selection criteria if we have to execute it only for the specific materials, versus in MRP, which is currently run across the plant. Here you can give the selection criteria for materials or MRP controller, etc. If you don't give any materials, it will run for all materials in that location. You can also include the BOM components and stock transfer components in planning. So if you include BOM components, then a low level code is calculated, which is nothing but the sequence in which your products are produced and the receipts would be created. Once you have the sequence ready, then SAP itself internally differentiate the products based on the advanced planning checkbox, and all the products which are marked for advanced planning will be planned in PPDS using the product heuristic, and all the other products are planned in HANA. But they are planned in the same sequence, they are planned in same program, and it's a seamless for user because it's only one algorithm which is running. At the end, you will get a result. Let's say out of 6 products here, 2 will be planned in PPDS and 4 will be planned in HANA. It's a internally it will run based on the classic MRP logic, and for the PPDS, whatever we maintain, that will be considered. You can have a regenerative planning, or you can have a only net planning, or you want to replan everything. Even that option we can select. This is the same variant. So if you want to have a particular job or planning to be taken place at one location every day, then we can create a variant and schedule a job using the same. Now, a few advantages of PPDS. First is the fixed pegging. So what is fixed pegging is basically we have a demand which is coming, let's say in terms of sales order, and you have a receipt created against that. So this is very much useful in case of the shelf life, where particular demand is pegged or it is fulfilled by a particular receipt. So that is as per your shelf life criteria. So you don't want in every run, you don't want the other plan order to be mapped or pegged to that particular sales order. So using the fixed pegging, we can have that relation stable against the sales order and the receipt. In case of the dynamic pegging, the pegging will be changed as per your net planning, or whatever regenerative planning we do every day. Based on that, it can change. Then top-down and bottom-up heuristics. When we run the production planning, after the production planning, you have receipts created. So the receipts for your raw materials will be as per your planned delivery time, which are planned in HANA, versus the receipts of your production finished product will be as per your production recipe and production version that we have maintained. There are some cases where you have to ensure that the dates of all my components are aligned, because I don't want to produce too much and too early. So in that case, the dates have to be aligned. So when you run top-down heuristic, in that case, all the dates of your finished product will be considered in the component planning. So all the components will be aligned as per your finished product. In case of the bottom up, it will be other ways. So if you have one raw material or one component where your planned delivery time is 60 days, so it's a very component which is coming from let's say it's been shipped from some far location, so your transit time in 60 days. So in that case, maybe as per my production version, the production will only take, like, let's say 1 week. So my finished product will be much earlier than my component, but that cannot happen in the real case because I cannot start the production without having the component. So in that case, what happens is your in this, the highest planned delivery time of any component is considered. So if a particular component is available after 60 days, then your finished product cannot start before 60 days. It will start after 60 days only. So your dates are aligned as per your planned delivery time. So this is again a standard heuristic where you just have to give the selection criteria, and internally SAP will give you a plan as per the dates. Raw materials planned delivery delivery time in optimizer as well, you can consider it. So maybe you don't want to plan raw material, you're not planning in you're directly planning in HANA, you're getting the receipts, you're updating it, but it has to be available in PPDS. You just want to see that data, so even that is possible, and that raw material plan timeline can be considered in your planning. Then PP procedure for components we already covered. We can have a different product heuristic. So product heuristic we maintain on the material master, so you did not have same heuristic for all the products. So if few of your products are shelf life products and others are not, then you can have a separate heuristic maintained for both of these products. Then inventory building before downtime. So like I mentioned, we can maintain downtime in PPDS on the resources, and as it is 3 months to 6 months planning. So maybe in your 5th month, you are seeing that there is a resource downtime of 2 weeks, but there is a demand in that 2 weeks. So all that demand will be fulfilled before the downtime. So your receipts will be created before the downtime. So the customer will not face the consequences of the downtime. Then detailed scheduling. So planning and scheduling happens using a different algorithms. The shelf life and the standard lot top down was a part of planning, whereas scheduling is done using the different algorithms, where you can maintain this. I mean, all these settings are you can plug and play. You can change the settings and you can get the result. Let's say scheduling mode. So find slot. Find slot is basically look for the availability where I can schedule the order. So whatever is the last order scheduled on that resource, this will be scheduled. The current order will be scheduled after that. There is another option like an insert operation. So in case of some critical order, so you have an order coming from one of your important client and you don't want to delay it. So in that case, you can use a scheduling mode as an insert operation, where that order will be given priority and it will be pushed immediately in the scheduling. Then you can have a planning direction, so forward or backward, etc. So the forward is the production will start from today, current date, even if you have even if the demand is in after 2 months, but your production will start from today. Whereas the backward is if the demand is after 2 months, then the production end date will be just before your demand, and in the reverse way, in the backward direction, your planning will take place. Then whether you want to consider the non-working times, if you select that, it will plan on the weekend also. Then backlog resolution. So if there is a backlog on the particular resource, you can plan it using a heuristic. There are different scheduling heuristics as well which are available. You can plan as per the sequence. So sequence of your product number or your location or order number, everything can be planned using PPDS. There can be manually, you can schedule the order in PPDS dashboard. There is a dashboard is nothing but the detailed scheduling screen. This is how it looks in Fiori app, where you have a resource, you have a product, you have orders. So all this and this is a timelines. So all these are the orders which are available, or which are currently scheduled on this particular resource. You can see where there is an overlap. Overlap is nothing but there is a load on that resource, because there are 2-3 orders which are already been scheduled on the same time, which is a result of your production planning. Then orders which are fixed orders. So once planner has scheduled the order, it can be fixed. So when you fix the order, it will not be changed by PPDS heuristic. So that order will not be changed or moved to any other date once it is fixed. Then deallocation. If the order is cancelled, or you don't want that order right now to be scheduled, you want to move it to the future, you can deallocate it and then schedule it in the future. So all these activities can be done by planner in the dashboard. It can be manually done, or it can be scheduled using the heuristic. Again, you can have multiple heuristics. So on a particular resource, you want to just schedule a backlog, then you can schedule it. Or on a particular resource, you want to schedule as per the sequence, it is possible. So you can have multiple scheduling algorithms on multiple resources. Once you make the changes, you can save it, or you can save it in the simulation. So if you are not sure about how the changes will affect the production, you can save it in the simulation and you can refer there. Alert monitor. So alerts are nothing but they can be generated in terms of your information, warning, or error message. So we have certain threshold maintained against each this messages. So for information, there will be one threshold. For warning and error, there will be different threshold. Alerts can be in PPDS. You can maintain alert. Let's say for the shelf life alert. So if a particular receipt with the expired stock is mapped to your requirement, so your alert will be generated in that case. If the resource is overloaded, or if the resource is underutilized. So let's say if the utilization is less than 30%, you'll probably have to schedule orders to that resources. Then in case the start date of the order is in past, which means it was supposed to be the plan order was supposed to be converted into the production order and start the production, but because of some reason it is not yet converted and started. So that kind of alerts can be generated. The alerts can be mailed to planners. Then there's again as the Fiori app, we can have an alert monitor app where you can see these alerts. Alerts can be generated for the given selection criteria, so it can be on your location, product, or resources. If you don't maintain anything, it will be generated across the network. Last topic for today, limitations of PPDS. The first limitation is it will not do rough cut planning, like long-term, mid-term to long-term planning is not a, it will, I mean, if you want to maintain that planning horizon and do the planning, it will do the planning, but it will still be in the detailed scheduling way. So if there are some companies who just want to see the rough numbers for the long-term planning, they'll probably not go for the PPDS for that much planning horizon, because execution, detailed level execution for up to 24 months is not possible in any company. Then it does not support make to order scenario and CTP, that is capable to promise. So it was a part of APO actually, where whenever any sales order demand comes in PPDS, it will first check whether it can be met and there is enough capacity available to produce that much quantity, and only then the plan order was to be created. But in HANA, they are not providing this functionality. So make to order will not be treated as a make to order in PPDS. Then subcontracting process is change. So this is again organizational change as well as the changes for the planner, because usually for the subcontracting we had vendors which were integrated, the subcon vendors. But now the vendors will be integrated as a MRP area. So this MRP area is created against the storage location, and the subcontracting process is supported using the MRP area only. Forecast integration. So earlier, like I mentioned, we have demand planning in APO, and the forecast was released from demand planning to SNP, which was again a part of APO itself. So your forecast generation and release to PPDS was pretty much only limited to the APO model. But now PPDS cannot produce the forecast, or it cannot give any demand on its own. The demand has to be come from the S4 HANA. So in some cases where there is a external third-party tool which is creating the forecast for them, they will publish that forecast to HANA, from where it can be integrated to PPDS. In some cases, IBP is used to publish that forecast. So the forecast is calculated using the SNOP model of IBP, and then it is published to HANA, from where it is getting integrated to PPDS. It does not support the time-based safety days planning. So safety days planning is not dynamic in PPDS. However, it is only limited to the static safety days. So whatever the safety days value we maintain on the advanced planning material master, that will be static across the horizon, let's say 5 days, 10 days, and that will be used in your production planning. Obviously, there are some enhancements and customizations available using which you can have the dynamic planning. So this is the overview of what we have in PPDS and what we will cover in our coming sessions. Any questions?
Another question, whether optimizer will be supported by PPDS or not. We are having like heuristic, optimizer, and CTM. You said that CTM will not be supported.
Yeah, that's right. CTM is mainly supported in SNP along with SNP optimizer and CTM. So in PPDS, it will be optimizer and PPDS heuristic.
Okay, optimizer will also supported by PPDS.
Yes, there is a PPDS optimizer separately.
Okay. And another question, normally how the heuristic, when at which point we'll be executing the heuristic? Like normally if you take about the PPC normal scenario or in process industry scenario, once we receive the demand, we will be running the MRP. MRP output will be the planned order, and the planned order will be converting the production order or process order and will be executing the process. But if we implement PPDS, all the master data will be lying in the ECC system or the HANA system. And based on the integration model, what we have activated, that will be transferred to the PPDS system. Then at which point we'll be executing this heuristics, or like MRP, how we are running in the same way we'll be running the PPDS heuristics, or how?
Yeah, so when you have a demand in PPDS, so against that demand, when you run PPDS heuristic, it will create the receipts. So
Okay, output will be directly the planned order or production order in
plan
heuristics.
orders, and then those plan orders will be scheduled first. So you first will have an infinite plan orders using planning heuristic. Then you have a finite plan orders using the scheduling heuristic, and then it will be converted to the production order.
Okay, these all things we will be doing in the planning dashboard.
PPDS. Yeah, planning dashboard you can do scheduling and conversion. Planning heuristic will be run separately for creating the orders.
Okay, you mean to say that once the same way how we will be running MRP, the same way we will be running the heuristic. Then we need to plan and schedule. Means there are multiple steps to convert the
Yes,
plan before converting to production order. There are multiple steps which we need to perform.
yes.
Okay, then once the production order is converted, then we will be executing the same shop floor activities.
Yeah, the execution will be same. There is no difference in that.
Okay, you mean to say that the place where we are running the MRP, there only the heuristic will be running and we need to schedule the orders.
Right.
Okay. And what was the duration of the course?
Duration of the course will communicate to you, because like how how the sessions will be planned. It will be as per that. How much time will be able to give every day or every week. It will be as per that. So we'll communicate to you.
Okay.
Hello.
Uh,
Just two more questions I have regarding this. Hello.
yeah.
So we have this situation in ECC in scheduling when we are doing capacity. Does it is there like we have multiple resources for the same product we can do, but in ECC we have to manually change the work center or push the order to different resource. So is it handled automatically in PPDS?
Different resources, and is it an alternative resource?
Yeah, like the same machine. I have two machines which can perform the same task. So I have
Yeah, yeah,
created two
alternative
routines.
resource.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so we don't have to maintain two routings for the alternative resource. It can be maintained in terms using the classes and classification characteristic and that,
Okay.
and it will you can I mean the planner can manually also schedule, or it can be done automatically also.
So,
I
yeah.
mean,
So in PPDS it is automatic, huh? Based on my
yeah, yeah, there are both
understanding.
options. There are both options. It depends on the setting that you select. So in some cases, actually planner want to have more control in scheduling on the alternate source. So that time we don't select the auto mode, but it is a setting based actually. So if you maintain that particular setting, it will be automatically.
Okay, because in ECC it is all manual. There is no automatic
Yes,
option.
yes, I
Right?
know. Yeah.
And the last question on this regarding subcontracting, many of the part in plant, we there will be both subcontracted type X for many material, and when we are scheduling and then we realize that there are capacity overloads, and then in that point in time we realize that we have to subcontract those parts to a vendor. So in ECC, what we have to do, we have to just know if they are production order, we have to close and create new plan orders. So how do we deal this in PPDS? Does it help anyway, or the same way we have to do it in PPDS as well?
No, actually, subcontracting is pretty much simplified in ECC compared to PPDS, that I would say. because in PPDS we cannot on the fly, close the order and create another order. We have to get set of master data available in PPDS, like I mentioned MRP area, because even in HANA subcontracting process is changed compared to ERP, the earlier one. So
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry,
yeah.
please continue.
Yeah, no, so that's what the subcontracting process in PPDS is a bit complex. It is not straightforward like in HANA.
Okay. So to answer my question, suppose if I want to set process that if I don't have capacity in house, system should suggest me, yes, these parts should be planned with subcontracting vendor on the MRP area. So does I get some alert or something, some information, or it automatically creates external procurement elements for those materials, or I have to again do manual?
Yeah, so you will be able to see the overload and all, but it is completely business decision whether they want to go for outsourcing. If the subcontracting needs to be there, you cannot on the fly do subcontracting in PPDS, and PPDS will not tell you whether to go for subcontracting or not, because what PPDS does is it will schedule the orders in future. So if you want 100 orders 1 month, okay, but because of the overload, you cannot complete it in 1 month. It will take 2 months. Then PPDS will give you a plan of 2 months, and then it's a business decision whether they want to subcontract or outsource some of them, or they want to extend the plan from 1 month to 2 months.
Okay. Just in the same business case, suppose I want to tell system my planning dates are only 1 month. I want to ensure I have to deliver those products within 1 month. Okay. So I won't be able to dispatch my orders in that bucket, correct? So I will have my orders remaining in my pool, order pool, which are not dispatched, and those
Right.
orders I want system to be subcontract. I want them to be subcontracted. So in ECC, what we do, we just, if there are plan orders, we just delete the detailed scheduling and convert those plan order to PR as a sub, because we have different source of supply also for this and both procurement type. So how do we do in PVDS? Is it somehow different, or I don't know,
Yeah, you
because
have to
these are the
delete
two.
the
Sorry,
orders.
please continue.
You have to delete the orders, and then see, subcontracting orders will basically come from HANA only, because PPDS does not do subcontracting on its own. PPDS is mainly for planning and scheduling. So
Correct.
when you get the subcontracting orders in HANA, it will be integrated in PPDS, but these are the subcontracting orders, so they will not have any value addition in PPDS. I mean,
Okay.
unless you use that, the end date of that order, and like when you have a stock. So let's say as a result of your subcontracting receipt, you get a stock at your subcontractor and then to your own location. So that stock will be referred by PPDS, but PPDS will not interfere in your subcontracting process. It will be mainly executed by HANA only.
Okay, okay. Because in HANA we have MRP areas and we are creating production version for each subcontracting material. Actually, in current project, the challenge we have is uh, we have 1 month of timeline, let's say, and whatever demand we have for the customer, we have to fulfill in the same month. We don't want that to be scheduled for next month because that's not possible. That won't solve, fulfill our requirement. So we want that those additional parts to be subcontracted later because we don't know if there is a capacity overload. So in HANA without PPDS, we are struggling. We have to again do it manually. So I was looking if we can do that in PPDS. On anyway, and regarding the first point, you said it automatically scheduled to the next month. Can we restrict that? I don't want to suppose I have a requirement, and if system is saying me, okay, do you produce in next month, and I don't want it, will it stop and say, yeah, it cannot be scheduled, or it will schedule? So how's the thing?
You can maintain the timelines there. So your horizon, considering your horizon, it will, I mean, it will only schedule for 1 month if you maintain the 1 month horizon, and the remaining another month it will have an infinite planning only. It will not schedule.
Okay, so see, to see, my horizon is 3 months. That is fine, but I don't want to push my production plan from PPDS in future from my demand. That was the question. Horizon, I understand you are restricting my planning or detailed scheduling to a particular horizon. Fine. But I don't want to push my, current month plan order to be scheduled in the next month. Okay. Anyway, we'll discuss that during course, maybe.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So just one more question from me. So how we will be like this was an overview. So how we will be continuing like will it be an interactive session on system? You will be explaining this some basics and we will be having some study material. So just can you brief a little bit what is the mode of training? Uh, uh,
Do we have anyone from TechBiz? I think it would be better if they connect with you because from my side, I will be taking sessions. I'm definitely showing the system, but there will be some hands-on session also planned for you. But I'm not sure about the material what they are going to provide. So
okay.
I think check with the team about it.
So you will be taking care only the slides. This is what I understand. And regarding the hands-on or live, like you will be, like a training we do give to user. We show the system. We tell them how to execute
Yeah,
what. So that won't be done, huh? Is it?
I will show the system. I will show you the system. Yeah, we will execute the scenarios.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
because PPTs explain over the slides. That is not possible. So we will go through the system.
Okay. And one more thing, like the course content, will it consider some business scenarios like we have in implementations, or a general topic by topic approach?
No, wherever possible, we will include the business scenario, business cases, or real examples from our experience.
Okay. So will it be specified in the content that we will receive from TechBase, or we will come to know later whenever you are explaining?
I think it will be on, whenever we are explaining it. But well, like I said, I think it was better if we have tech this to answer that question.
Okay.
I'm not sure if anyone's there in the call right now.